I'm going to take you to my first ever bare knuckle fight that I witnessed. I must have been I think I was about 12 years old when this happened. My dad woke me up one morning. He's like, get up boy, we've got to take you somewhere. I said, well, where are we going? He said, you'll see when we get there. And I remember we turned up down this field, and there must have been about 50, 60, 70 blokes huddled in a circle. And I can remember one of the blokes who was having the fight, he got out of his car, come running across the field, took his top off, was shaping up as he was running, and then he joined the circle, and I was standing up, I was like standing on this thing so I could see over the crowd. And yeah, and what's first ever bare knuckle fight I'd ever seen live. It was mad, mate, and I think then that's probably what sparked my interest in bare knuckle fighting even back then. My dad doesn't like me doing the bare knuckle fighting itself, but the thing is with my dad's known in this area. He's a tough man, fighting man. You ask anyone around this area that knows my dad, and they've got a story to tell about him, do you know what I mean? And as a kid growing up, hearing all of these stories about him, about what he's done, all the fights that he's been in, the things, he was a doorman as well back in the 90s and probably late 80s as well. Yeah, he without realising it, I know he tried to keep me away from violence, but at the same time, as a kid, hearing all these glory stories of what he's done and what he'd done to people and all that, it just, every kid wants to be like their dad, do you know what I mean? Well, I certainly did. This is where I witnessed my first ever bare knuckle fight. Where over there where that park is, none of that was there. Yeah, and say this whole strip up along here, cars. The police was parked up on that hill just over there, mate, and they watched the whole thing happen. There was too many people over here to try and get involved and to try and stop it. But it was a proper fair fight. Do you know what I mean? It was a fucking good fight to watch. It was a really good fight to watch. This is where it happened, just on this little bit of pavement over here.
Do you remember where you had your first fight?
What?
Like what? Kind of on the streets or?
Probably one of my first ones, proper ones, was, I mean, it's hard to say really, because a fight is, I've hit people, and like without sounding big-headed or anything like that, I've hit people and they've gone down, and that's not a fight, do you know what I mean? But probably one of the first ones that I could probably remember is the one I said earlier about where I got involved in a 14, 15-year-old kid just knocked out someone's dad, do you know what I mean? And that was probably one of my first like proper fights, do you know what I mean? But
what did you realise when you done it? Did you think, wow, I've got a bit of power in this hand, or?
I didn't think nothing of it, mate, to be fair. I just, I was too busy running to be the ideal place to do it. If you're going to have a straightener with someone on the streets, got surrounding areas, so there's no, like, the thing is with straighteners now, I've seen so many straighteners now where they're in an open field or they're in a big space area and they're just dancing around each other for an hour or so, do you know what I mean? Where if you bring two fighters in an enclosed space, they've got to fight. All that fucking dancing around each other and all that sort of shit for an hour or so, no one wants to see that. If you're going to fucking fight, have a fight, do you know what I mean? But yeah, no, this would be a good little location to have one.
So when you think of a five-a-side pitch, you more think of a fight rather than playing football?
Yeah, I do, yeah. Like, I'll walk into a car park at a pub or something and I'll look around and be like, this would be a good place to have a fight. It's a fighter's mentality though, isn't it?
We're training up for a bare knuckle fight. I mean, me and Jack happened to work together by accident. He actually asked me for a bit of sparring. We always floated around with the idea of sparring each other, but never, you know, because our lives are quite hectic, never really sort of linked up. And then, yeah, we had a spar one time and it was really good, and, you know, we come down for a few more spars and then we started training together for a bare knuckle fight. He was asking me if I knew anyone on the scene. I was quite involved with it at the time with a guy called Craig Amer, who was pretty big when it all started. A good few years ago, and so he knew I had a sort of connection there and knew some people. So I got him involved with it, and I think I'm his longest serving trainer. Yeah, and we just clicked. Since then we've become very close, family close. I'm the godfather to his child. We just linked up, you know, and both liked each other's training and sort of mentality towards training. Yeah, we had a few fights, quite a few fights. He's undefeated. At the moment, we are training for a fight abroad against a tough Polish lad. Now, our relationship is, you know, I don't just tell him what to do and he does it. Like we discuss what we're doing. We do sort of like an old school training methods, but with kind of like a modern approach, you know. We abolished the 5 mile runs, no good for 3 round fighting. Yeah, he just needs to be fit, sharp, and believe in himself. And when he does believe in himself, I don't think there's a fighter out there that can beat him.
Stop it! He's going to try.
Would you do the honours?
So where would you say we are in the journey then?
Mate, we're like 14 weeks out of the fight at the minute. The training camp hasn't even started really. This is just me ticking over. If I don't do something, I get bored. Do you know what I mean?
So what's the end goal? What's the start and end goal?
So at the minute, my weight is around about I'd say it's about 20 and a half stone, maybe might even be 21 stone. I've not weighed myself for a while. But when I fight, I'll drop down to about 17 and a half stone, might even be lighter. So everything that you saw in here today, this is me big, out of shape, but I can still throw my hands around, do you know what I mean? So see how I'm going to be in 14 weeks' time, mate. I'm going to be a completely different animal.
So this is like the build up to the fight, basically.
Yeah, mate, yeah. This is the start. This is the start of a long road.
What number, how many fights have you had so far?
I've had 4 bare knuckle fights. I've had 4. I won 3 and I've drawn 1. All 3 of them by knockout. Yeah, so this is going to be my fifth bare knuckle fight coming up.
How do you feel about this opponent? Do you know much about him? Or?
He's an MMA fighter. He's never had, this is his first bare knuckle fight, because this is the first bare knuckle event in Norway history. So yeah, he's not got much experience in that respect, but he's a short, stocky sort of build. Striking wise, I've watched him box. Not impressed at all by his boxing ability, but MMA fighters are normally tough, durable cunts. So yeah, it'll probably be a tough fight regardless.
How long have you been training in this gym for?
Oh, I've been in this gym since I've been in and out of this gym since I was about 17. The guy who owns the gym, Matt Sims, really good friend of mine, a good friend of Pete's. I've been in and out of this gym. Well, I'm 26 now, 25. So yes, I've been in here about 8 years in and out of this gym. And thing is, like with Matt, the owner, he's never charged me a penny either to train in this gym. Never charged me a penny either. Do you know what I mean? He's a proper nice fella when it comes to things like that. Like he helps people out. Do you know what I mean?
So you've been coming to this gym for a while. I take it you probably know a lot of people in the area.
Yeah, I grew up in this area, mate. This is the heart of Chatham. My first amateur boxing gym was literally just up the road. You've got Chatham Town Centre just down the road, down that way. Yeah, this is where I grew up, mate. This is where I grew up.
It's hard to avoid trouble. Have you ever got yourself in these situations?
Yeah, of course I have, mate. But being in Chatham, you're always gonna come across situations like that. I won't say too much about what I have done on camera, but yeah, I have been involved in some situations, and it has got a bit messy for the other person. But now, mate, I'm a family man. I'll try and swerve all that as much as I can. I'm not. In the day I fight, my career's fighting. I make a career out of it. I don't need to be doing it out there.
That's behind you.
Yeah, well, yeah, in a way. Obviously, I'll defend myself if I have to. Don't get me wrong, but I'll try and avoid trouble. Do you know what I mean? If I see a group of idiots on one corner, I'll walk around another corner. Do you know what I mean? I don't need to. I avoid the drama as much as I can anyway.
Has that been easy?
No, no, it's not. Being a man of my size, mate, trouble seems to find you. I don't know why. Everyone wants to try and prove themselves by fighting the big bloke, don't they?
You just try to avoid it.
I try.
So what are we doing today, Jack?
I'm taking my son Tommy to his first boxing lesson.
His first boxing lesson? So
Yep.
How old is Tommy?
6 years old.
Tommy's 6.
Yep.
Has he shown an interest in boxing, or?
He hasn't done before, but the last couple of weeks he's been asking me to take him. So, well, like, I always said I weren't going to be one of those dads to try and force their sons to box, like a lot of dads do around my area. Obviously, I know I do it and all that sort of stuff, but I always said I weren't going to pressure him into it. But he's come to me and asked me to take him, so I'm not going to deny him the chance to do it either. I mean, at his age now, it's not too bad. I mean, he's only 6, so you can have a little bit of fun at that age. But when he gets older, it gets a lot more serious, and it's not as fun as people think. Do you know what I mean? You've got to cut out meals, you've got to make weight, you've got to go out running before school. It's a harsh sport, and for a kid, you don't really have much of a childhood. Do you know what I mean? But listen, if that's what he wants to do, that's what he wants to do.
How did your parents feel about you when you started your boxing career?
To be fair, my boxing career didn't start properly till I was 17 anyway. I boxed on and off as a kid, bit of training here and there, in and out of the gyms all the time, but yeah, my career didn't start properly till I was 17, so by then obviously I was a lot older and it was a lot easier for them to sort of take on sort of thing. But with the bare knuckle side of things, my mum, she loves it. It's weird, I don't know why. She loves the fights and all that sort of stuff, but my dad can't stand it. He really can't stand it. He fucking hates it. Even at my age now, well, I'm 26 now, and yeah, he can't stand seeing me get punched still to this day. Come on, bub. Come on, let's go.
What you got me, mate?
Brought my little boy out here, he wants to start.
All right, no worries. Left hand down.
Go on, boy, keep going.
Oh, boys, let's go. Yes, is the boss.
So I didn't start training till I was about 9 or 10. He's 6.
He's only 6.
6, yeah.
Starting at a good age.
That's it, mate, yeah. So I mean, at his age you can have fun. You can have fun with it. You're not allowed to box, I think, from the age of 10 anyway. You're not allowed to have any fights. So,
That includes sparring.
no, you're allowed to spar, but you're not allowed to have any proper contests until you're over the age of 10. But this is where at his age, I say this is where you can be enjoying it, do you know what I mean? Yeah, where the sport ain't going to be too serious. And once he will start fighting, that's when the sport will get serious. But at the moment, it's just all about him having a laugh in the gym, do you know what I mean?
It's a good place for him to make friends as well.
100%, it's good. It builds confidence in kids. Boxing builds confidence in people. I can remember the first time I went to the gym when my dad took me, man. I didn't want to. I was holding on to my dad's leg. I didn't want to leave his side. And then once you get away, again, you make friends for life in boxing, mate. It's good, really good for kids. Doing well, boy. Come back. Not all the way. Boom, backhand. Boom.
Alright, so Jax, slight change of plan.
Yeah, fucking the gym that we were supposed to be going to ain't letting us have day passes because of COVID, which I don't understand why, because every other gym that I've gone to is doing that. So now we're gonna have to switch it up and go and do an outdoor training session at an abandoned running track. But we'll make it work. There's stuff over there that we can use to help us get a good session in.
So how many weeks we got till the fight?
8 weeks now. Got 8 weeks. The pre-camp training, as we call it, is all done. Fitness is at a good level, so now the hard shit's going to begin now. But like I was saying, I've got a lot of eyes on me for this fight. I've got the promoter over in America, the biggest promotion in bare knuckle boxing. He's going to be keeping an eye on me, so if I do well in this fight and I'll put the geezer down as quick as I know I can do, I'll say it on live telly that I want to get over there, and the guy that I want to fight, I've already spoken to him. I've already spoken to his trainer, and him and his team are up for it. So it's just a case of me getting through this fight in Norway, doing the business, and then getting a contract signed up, hopefully, if the promoter thinks it's a good fight to make, which I think it will be.
And is he an American?
Yeah, he's an American, yeah, he's an American fighter. He's had like, how many fights he had now? He's had about three bare knuckle fights he's had now, and I think he's got fight of the night in every single one of them. He's a tough man. He comes to fight no matter what, win, lose or draw, it doesn't matter. He just comes to fight, and they're the kind of people that I want to fight. Do you know what I mean? It is at the minute of all COVID and that, yeah. Let's chuck all this shit in. I used to come here all the time as a kid when it was obviously all up and running and that's where we used to do our athletics. It's been abandoned for a few years now. But loads of people still come out here and train. It's a brilliant place, you know what I mean? It's a running track and you ain't even got to pay anything. Mate, these tyres, you can do loads of things with these tyres. You can flip them, smash them with a sledgehammer. I mean, my first ever experience with a tyre, it was my first ever boxing session. My trainer taught me this is how you get your feet correct. I mean, it's around about the correct sort of distance you've got to have for your footwork. So he just said to me, just keep bouncing up and down on the tyre, and after a while, it gives you the correct form for your footwork. And yeah, and that's fucking, it's something as basic as that, and it's just I've never had any problem with my footwork. I've never once tripped over my own feet throwing a punch, so far. Yeah, that's so now whenever I train someone and they're fresh to boxing, that's the first thing I'll get them on is a tyre that sort of size. It's no good doing it on a tyre that size because you'll be like, your legs will be too far apart. Got to have the correct sort of tyre size. And yeah, it's brilliant. It's a brilliant exercise for footwork. Right, tell you what we'll do. I'm gonna get my timer out. We'll do for a warm up. One of us do a round of skipping, the other one do a round of shadow boxing, and then we'll swap over. Do 4 rounds, 2 of each, yeah? It's a minute rest, mate. Say it's only a warm up. Minute rest. Then straight back into it. Feel alright, mate? Feel alright? Light work this really, it's just a little sweat session, you know what I mean? Get a little work rate going. It's not a whole lot we can do really, we're limited to what we got. But we'll make it work, do you know what I mean? It's making everything else we go along. Get this over here. See, most people would have gone home after they was told they couldn't go to a gym. We ain't got that option, do you know what I mean? We got fights coming up. We've got to stay fit, so I mean, look around us. The only bit of work we got, the only bit of equipment we got to use, and we can still have a good session out of it. It's all about mind games. Yes, the guy I'm fighting.
Some of your friends need help.
He talked about his game plan and what he's going to do with me, or what he's going to try to do with me anyway.
Does this stuff kind of motivate you?
But this is
Yeah, it does. It does.
Also,
I wouldn't say it lights a fire under my ass because I'm mentally prepared for it anyway. But yeah, it's just like it gives you that extra little bit of motivation. Do you know what I mean? Here we go.
Have you what's going on?
I was watching video and you fight already with my opponent, I think, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so you know him a little better. You know, my opponent is, I think from the video, is a great counter fighter, yeah? He has great timing.
You're wrong there, mate.
I feel I'm the biggest underdog in the whole card, I think so.
So what's your prediction? I mean, you're going to try to knock him out? I mean, is that the goal here? Take him to the distance, win a decision?
You know, the decision was I need to be like a pitbull, like always near to him and still going forward.
Right saying it, but
Keep going forward, mate, if someone's hitting you.
Some advice from a guy who's had this fights.
You only got to ask Shannon, the guy who's interviewing, he made that mistake,
You
mate.
can't go into this fight expecting it to be a boxing match. You need to go in and treat it as a fight. You need to be the first guy to throw punches, and you need to just attack like a pit bull.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's, you know, my trainers also get help from former UFC fighters. From
UFC's fucking through bare knuckle.
Exactly.
And, I think we have a good plan, and we will see what's going on. You know, with bare knuckle, you know, one punch sometimes destroy everything. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You're gonna get a cut, a knockout, something like that. But
One punch is going to be everything. It's going to be me hitting you and you hitting the floor, man.
That's it. Not funny, every pit bull cowards every now and then.
You know, MMA, it's 5-minute rounds.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's a little different. Yeah, but this fight is going much more faster, like in MMA. It's no calculation, no just fighting. Yeah, in MMA you can take some tactics. You can
Basically it really, he's fucking chat shit the rest of it. But he's definitely got the wrong tactics, mate.
Game plan ain't going to work for him, mate.
Nah, definitely not.
Come forward till you get that hit.
That's it. It's, in the day, he said it's bare knuckle. This ain't MMA, this ain't boxing. You can steam forward all you like, do you know what I mean? He's just going to...
You've only got one thing, stand there and throw hands.
Exactly.
Once you connect him once with that good right, left hook, whatever, I'm not funny, he'll cower.
I've already seen that he can't take a punch. He's been dropped in his fights, so...
But he ain't got the opportunity of rushing you, giving you his best shots, that do nothing. He can't take you to the ground.
Nah, exactly.
He's now got to try and wear you down.
Exactly.
He can't box.
He ain't going to be able to do it. It's just, there's no way. There ain't a place this fight's going to go that it's going to go in his favour. No way.
We've only known each other, like I said, just over 5 years probably, but it's like we've known each other a lifetime.
It's like you bond a lot quicker because of the kind of sport that you guys do and stuff, right?
100%, yeah. The boxing game, I always say it's a family game. Like Jack says, I say, your family in the gym, your family outside the gym. We go out with our missuses, we go out with the kids. We do a normal lifestyle outside the gym, but then when we're in the gym, it's me and him. So yeah, you can bring anyone into the gym, but it takes true people to connect as a family.
And how are you feeling about his next opponent?
It's just another day in the office for him.
Yeah.
It's going to be, not to be rude about his opponent, but personally I think it's going to be a good warm-up fight for Jack for being out of the ring for so long. To me, Jack's on a different game when it comes to this bare knuckle boxing. He can be a lightweight and he holds his power, he's fast. He can be a heavyweight, he holds his power and he's fast. So a lot of people can come unstuck with Jack.
Yeah, it's been a little while, Jack, since we met up. There's been a few things that have happened.
Yep.
They're not great news.
No, not great news at all.
What's been happening?
So basically the fight in Norway is off. There, they've said that you've either got to have both the vaccinations done or you've got to self-isolate over there for 10 days. I've only had one vaccination done so far and I can't get my second one done before we're due to go over there. Yeah, and so they said they wanted us to self-isolate for 10 days. I said I can't afford to do that, so unfortunately I've had to pull out of the Norway fight, which I'm absolutely gutted about. We put a lot of work into training for that fight. So I feel like I let all my sponsors down. They put out a lot of money for my fight kit and all that kind of stuff. But on the flip side to that, there is some good news. I have got another fight scheduled. It's not until the end of September, but at least it's a local fight as well, so I'll be able to sell tickets, have a lot of local support for that.
That's going to be in the UK then?
That's going to be in the UK, yeah, it'll be a local fight to here. And yeah, I've got some other things in the pipeline. I mean, I'm talking to a promotion in Russia. I've got another promotion in Sweden I'm talking to, and I've also just started talking to a matchmaker for a bare knuckle show in Miami. That could be a possible fight in December time. So realistically, we've just got to crack on with it. No point dwelling in the past, you know what I mean? It's got to look forward, carry on training, and yeah, man, just carry on with it. That's all we can do.
Just keep it moving.
Exactly that. There's no point.
What's been happening out the ring?
So I had my little girl was born Tuesdays, Friday day, Spawn Tuesday just gone. So obviously I took a little bit of time off of training and work and stuff to be around for that. But yeah, man, yeah, another little girl. Yeah, she's fucking, it's mad. It's mad times, mate. Good times. It's mad because you know how bad like things are. We keep losing out on the fights, but then I got that happened, and that's just like made me forget all about the fight being cancelled. You know what I mean? I put all my energy into my little girl and my son, and yeah, man. So yeah, life's good.
Come on, what are you waiting for? No, push, Jack, they're catching you. Don't let them catch you, come on. Right, push more, Jack, push more. Right, proper stretch when you get in, Jack. No phones. No Insta. No Pornhub. Right, get in stretch, yeah? Come on, boy. Any little bit. Right, with me, slip. You're trying to hold your ground against the guy that just wants to come forward. Why don't you just step back, 1, 2, step back, 1, 2, step back, 1, 2. Just keep your distance. You're the taller, you will be the stronger guy, but you're not strong here. Okay? Pushing here, it's not going to give you anything. You've got to be there, all the time. And then just move and 1, 2. That's all you've got to do.
Very close, your hands are really just going to go pop over the top if you walk over your arm.
And I want you to think about that, Joe. Just try and focus 2 rounds. Yeah, you've really got to switch on. Like 30 seconds, come on. Calm down.
So how you feeling about Sunday then, Pete?
I think he's going to do the business in devastating style. I've got 7 fighters on it, including my friend and partner here. So yeah, I've got concerns for them all, but I believe in them all totally. They've all put the work in. I'm an absolute drill sergeant when I train them, and you know they're all 100% ready to go.
I think the show's going to be absolutely brilliant. To be honest, it's great to be on the show. We were scheduled to, I believe it was March before the pandemic came around, and obviously everything has just been on a bit of a hold. And I think this is kind of the thing really that everyone is just needing and get back out to, being social again and interacting. Jack's an amazing fighter. It's good to be on the same show as Jack. And there's going to be so much more talent out there. There's some really up and coming young fighters up on this particular show. And I think that not only Jack or myself, we've been in the game for quite a long time, but it's these other guys that are really coming up that Pete's able to get them on a starting block. And if it weren't for shows like Pete's, if you like, being able to create these starting blocks for these youngsters coming off, just getting started, we don't know really where they would be. So I think sometimes a lot of it goes missed. Everyone just assumes, you're putting on a boxing show or a martial arts event or something like that. It's not just about that. Obviously we need spectators, that's what makes the atmosphere, but it's about giving these up and coming fighters, if you like, the opportunity to be on great shows, well managed and organised events. So keep your eyes open for next year, and I'm sure there'll be lots more events to come.
Look at this, isn't it?
I'll try.
20 drinking probably about 2 a day.
It's not too bad. I know a lot of people that drink a lot more.
But I was drinking like 4 or 5 a day, big cans a day.
Not pint cans.
Yeah, the big ones. Is that they only come in big ones, isn't they?
So do you normally have a coffee before your fight? So is that standard?
Yeah. It keeps you nice and awake, do you know what I mean? It's nice to chill out as well instead of sitting in the venue and watching it. Because when you're around loads of fighters and their nerves, you see them getting nervous, it sort of like rubs off on you, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Keep yourself away from it and keep yourself around good vibes and you stay happy throughout until you fight. There's nothing worse than the part where you get to the venue and then you've got to wait until when you fight. There's nothing worse. It's horrible.
The only thing I like about fighting is eating after. I think.
Say that again?
The only thing I like about fighting is eating shit after. And that is literally it.
Do you have more of an appetite after the fight's over?
Oh yeah, so what you do, you restrict your diet through most of the training camp. So you can't eat certain things, you can't do certain things. And literally you get to the end of the camp, you have your fight, and then you just indulge. That's what I do, and I think that's what a lot of fighters do, don't they? Just indulge. So that German doner kebab would definitely be getting, that'd be getting roasted.
So where are we off to now, Jack?
And Nando's, bruv. I ain't saying no eat. Gotta fuel the body.
Can we order up here, love?
No, we've got to go up there a little bit.
We can order up.
Go up. Yeah, you can go up there a little bit. Yeah.
Take cash.
The photographer just went to me, Jack, can you try and make sure the fight goes a little bit longer this time so I can get some more pictures?
Do you find it easy to eat after, just before you're having a fight? Some people get a bit nervous.
Mate, you're asking a heavyweight if they find it easy to eat. Mate, I don't care what stress I'm under, I'm always finding time to eat.
So it's not just you fighting today then, Jack. Your mate's fighting, right?
I've got a few mates fighting. Kane, Lee, Danny, Jake over there, he's doing another bare knuckle fight as well. I've got a few of my pals on. But we all train together, so yeah, we all train together, so yeah, mate, we all support each other as well, do you know what I mean? This is the worst part about fighting, being in this changing room, warming up, getting ready to go out there and do it. So we all have to support each other in a way, do you know what I
to go now, Jack?
Not long, mate. About another 5 or 6 fights and that.
So what have you done to your hands?
Wrapped up. Proper bare knuckle, no wraps across the
That's all you're going to have?
Yeah, mate. No fucking about.
So how you feeling?
Good, man. Good. So I'm getting them, get it done now, do you know what I mean?
How do you feel Kane's fight went?
Kane, yeah, really well. Really well, mate. Done well.
He look really good in there.
Yeah, mate, he fucking smashed. Good shape, man. I knew he would, though, you know what I mean? Yeah, I knew he would.
What happened to your hands?
Well,
Today?
Today, I think I threw a left hook to the body and my thumb ended up where I've had surgery before on the tendon's pinged, so it's just one I think it's going to be a reoccurring issue. Yeah. So I think I'm going to have a little bit of time out. My dad as well, so it's not the fucking safest sport in the world, let's be honest.
fucking love you. Yeah, that's the boy we had. My brother-in-law, isn't it? You know how it goes, boys.
Yeah, but hold that.
This one kill when you kill, don't you? Well done, mate, anyway.
Cheers, bruv.
Thank you.
Hey, God bless you, brother. Honestly, mate, can't have a bit under half the shoot star.
Oh, yeah, all right.
Listen,
That's
that's
what
That's why I got you drinking.
You get that? You get that? Wait on, listen.
my body, brother. Anyway, cheers.
God bless you, brother. I'm going to be following you, mate. Going to be following you. Nah, hey. Cheers. You fuck. Hey. You fucking beast. Hey, I'm following you, mate. God bless you.
Thank you, mate.
Yeah, so you got work with that jab, brother.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Cheers.
You're supposed to be a black belt in karate or something. Oh, really?
That's how we worked out.
Oh, shit. Yeah?
No, it doesn't.
That's right.
You got one? You got another one, mate? You allowed to get
Right, you go, Mama. Don't want to get changed.
Thoughts on the fight?
Mate, I've been saying it for how long? I knew the fight was going to go quick. I know what I'm capable of, I know what I can do, do you know what I mean? But I won't say too much about him because he was the only one that wanted to step in and do it, and he took the fight quite short notice, so, you know what I mean? But out of fucking hundreds of people the fight got offered to, he was the only one that stepped up to him, so the credit goes to him, really, you know what I mean?
Well done.
Sure, mate. I can go home and get pissed. Move! I'm off too far, boy.
What do you think's next for the boxing?
Well, the next fight I've got lined up, I think it's going to be for the English title. I've already got the British title. So I want to, obviously the plan is to get over to America, but obviously the way the country is at the moment, COVID and all that kind of stuff, it's just too much ag at the minute, so I'm just happy just fighting in England at the moment. Obviously there's a few up and coming heavyweights that are rising through the ranks in England, so realistically I think I might be better off taking them out first and then moving over to the States when the time's better than what it is now.
So it's just a matter of time, and then I guess.
Basically, yeah, I mean I'd be over the States already if it weren't for COVID and the pandemic and all the other shit that's going on, but yeah, I always said when I started this game I wanted to be known as one of the best bare knuckle fighters in England. Not the best bare knuckle fighter, because everyone's got an opinion, do you know what I mean? So, but I'd like to be up there with the names who people consider to be the best. So, and the only way to do that is to beat everyone that's good in England. So, I think that's where that's where my journey's swaying off to at the moment. And I think once I've done with that, then it'll be time to go over to the States and take out their best.
Have you got anything to say for anyone, any potential opponents that may be watching this?
No, I don't feel the need to have to say anything to anyone. At the end of the day, all the people that are in this sport, they all want to fight each other. They all want to fight. Do you know what I mean? Everyone wants to make a name for themselves. You didn't bear up a fighting. You don't get the people trying to avoid each other like you do in glove boxing. Everyone just wants to go out and fight and fight whoever they can and earn money doing it. So, you see, you know, I don't feel the need to talk shit about anyone. Do you know what I mean? It's not what I do. It's not what I'm about. I'll do my talking in the ring. Obviously, there are some names that I do want to fight, but I'm not going to sit here and fucking call them out. Do you know what I mean? I'll get my my trainer to arrange it all with their trainer, and I'll get it sorted like that. Do you know what I mean? I don't do all that fucking shouting people out over social media shit. Do you know what I mean? I don't. It's just not what I'm about. It's not what I've never been about it. But it's probably why I'm not that popular on social media. But I like to keep myself to myself. Yeah. So, but we got some names lined up. Do you know what I mean? And some of these lads are considered to be some of the best fighters in England. So, I mean, I won't say too much, but trust me, there's one fight that me and my trainer have spoken about. I won't say his name, but he's on holiday at the minute at Her Majesty's pleasure. But when he comes out, we've said we're going to get in touch with him and see about organising a fight. Because in a lot of people's eyes, he is still considered probably the best heavyweight bare knuckle fighter in England, and probably one of the hardest men in England as well. So, but like I said, I won't say his name, but that fight will be one to watch, definitely.
It's something that you're definitely up for then.
100%. 100%. Like I said, I don't avoid anyone. It's all about timing. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It's like, if a fighter says no to fight someone, I would say a good 7 out of 10 times, it's not because they're scared, it's just all about the timing. Do you know what I mean? It's about the money, it's about where they're at in their current life, what they're doing with themselves, what they're doing with work. There's loads of other things that a fan doesn't consider. They just think if a fighter doesn't fight a certain someone at that specific time, they think they've shit it. It's not the case at all. But yeah, he will definitely be on my radar as soon as he's out of prison. I don't know how much longer he's got, but yeah, he will definitely be one to look at, 100%. This way, bud.